At some point, every business hears the exact same thing. You need to be doing SEO. But what no one explains is how SEO actually works, who it's actually for, and how it turns into real revenue for a business. So in this video, I'm going to break down my entire SEO process from start to finish. And my goal is that when you walk away, you will understand exactly how SEO works, if it's right for you, and why it's one of the most important marketing channels to get right. Now, businesses are not all made equal. In my 10-year SEO career, I've worked with small local tradies all the way through to massive household name brands in an insane variety of industries. What I've learned is that when it comes to SEO, you need a process that works on any website in any niche, regardless of the business type or size. And that's why I developed my SEO Roadmap, which does exactly that. This roadmap is not a shortcut, it's not a secret recipe, it's a systematic approach of taking a business of any kind, from generating zero revenue from SEO to consistent, compounding organic growth for years to come. This is the exact same roadmap that I've implemented on every single client that I've worked with. It's the exact same roadmap that's led to the testimonials you guys can see below. So if you want to learn how SEO can help your business and understand why it's an $80 billion market in 2026, then keep watching because I'm about to show you guys some stuff that nobody really talks about. Hi guys, my name is Connor Doyle, and you might have heard that when it comes to generating actual revenue from SEO, that I'm the guy you want to speak to. Today, I'm hoping to demonstrate my deep experience on this subject and prove that right. The reason I made this video and the end goal of having you guys watch this is that I want to motivate you to schedule a time with me so that we can see whether or not we're a good fit and align with each other so that I can help you reach the SEO goals that you have for your business. Or if you've already scheduled in a time with me, hopefully by the end of the video, you'll know just enough about my process and what I do so that you're excited to continue our conversation, and hopefully this will be the beginning of another long-term relationship. Does that make sense? Now, you're probably watching this video for one of three reasons. Number one, someone referred you on to me, whether that was one of my clients or someone else that knows my brand. They mentioned my work and you have since gone down the rabbit hole and now here you are. Number two, you did a native organic search for SEO and you happened to find my website ranking at the top of the search results, which is the entire reason that you're here. Number three, you and I have already interacted before and we've scheduled in a time to talk, and I've gotten you to come back to this video so that you have a clear understanding of precisely what it is that you and I are going to do together to help you increase your organic traffic. Now, if you fall into any of those three categories, you are 100% in the right place, and I am positive that if you watch this video all the way through, then you're going to be able to understand exactly what SEO is, how it works, and how to buy it without falling into the same traps that everyone else does and getting taken advantage of. And not only that, but how to guarantee that once you buy SEO, you'll be able to see a positive return on investment. If all of that sounds good to you, then let's jump right in. The first thing I want to do in this video is help out anyone who might not actually understand what SEO is yet. So for those of you who don't know, SEO stands for search engine optimization. A search engine is like a Google or a Bing, and the optimization is what I do. I help your business get more visitors from search engines like Google by optimizing your website. Here's a picture of the mobile search results, which I'm sure you're familiar with. The person searching is in the market for a new house in Auckland, so they've typed in new builds Auckland. In the red, you have the paid search results, and these come from Google's ad marketplace or auction. In these results, businesses are basically bidding to get their ads shown and are paying for every single time someone clicks on one of those ads and goes through to the website. This is great for getting a business visibility quickly, but it can get expensive really fast as the more clicks you get, the more you pay. Everything in green is called the organic search results, and this is what you should care about. Every click that your business gets from here is totally free. The more your business is mentioned or shown in these top results, the more people click through to your website and hopefully take an action like calling you or booking your services or buying your product. So the better your SEO is, the more money you make from Google without having to pay them a dime. Pretty straightforward, right? Now, I know what you're thinking. I didn't come here to do an online SEO course, and that's totally fair. But hear me out, because understanding this one single concept will really help you comprehend why SEO is so powerful. So really hear this. It's not that the demand for your product or services doesn't exist. If you're not busy enough, that is not the reason why. There are over 10 billion Google searches made per day around the world, and most of my clients, even in little old New Zealand, are targeting keywords with hundreds to thousands of searches every single month. So the customers that they're searching, you already have qualified leads and buyers who are ready to take action right this second. The problem is when they are searching on Google for the products or services that you sell, they are clicking on your competitors' websites instead, who show up higher than you in the search results. Let that sink in. People already want what you sell. They're already actively searching for it. But they're just doing what any regular person does when they're searching for something they want, which is to click on the top ranking result, assuming that that's the best option. Do you see where this is going? What it means when you really break it down is that the only thing you need to do to get the customers to come to you instead of going to your competitors is to rank above them in the organic search results. That is how SEO works. We optimize your website, which increases your rankings. Increasing your rankings gets you more customers from the available pool. Getting more customers on your website means more inquiries, leads, purchases, conversions, or whatever it is that you need to make more money. If you understand this, you understand SEO. Does that make sense? Now let's get back to talking about you. Having spoken to hundreds of people about SEO, I can nearly guarantee you're here because you're in one of three situations. Situation number one is that someone in the know told you that your SEO is bad. At that point, you didn't know too much about SEO, you've since learned about it, and the journey has led you all the way to this video. The second situation is that you already know about SEO, you know you need it, and you're just looking for the right person to help with it. And the third situation is that you've already done SEO before, but it didn't work out. Most commonly, you bought an SEO package off an SEO agency or an SEO consultant who made a bunch of big promises and then it failed. Unfortunately, I hear this story over and over and over again. So many of my clients have PTSD from buying SEO previously and then getting burned. They understand the value of SEO, but they're so afraid of getting burned again that they just ignore it and let it fall behind. I'm here to show you that it is possible to find an SEO service that actually works. You can find an SEO person that you can actually trust with your business. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the exact moment that it normally all goes wrong. Believe it or not, SEO doesn't normally fail during the actual campaign. SEO normally fails before it even started, when a business is trying to find someone to work with, like you might be doing right now. This is the trap. Are you ready to hear it? People think that choosing an SEO provider is just like any normal shopping decision for the business. They say, I'll look at the options, I'll compare their experience, their reviews, and the price, and I'll just pick the best overall option. That's a huge mistake. Let's talk about why. Number one, if you're comparing providers based on price, reviews, and experience, then you're using easily faked, unverified metrics to assess who you choose. Think about it like this. Have you ever gone to a restaurant that had great reviews, the pictures of the food look delicious, everyone looks super happy, they're super active on social media and showing up all the time, and you can't wait to try it? So you book, you go, you dine at their restaurant, and it turns out it's just average. It doesn't live up to the expectations at all. That restaurant has great marketing. They might not have a good product, but it's way easier to have good marketing than it is to have a good product. So you need to go deeper than looking at surface level metrics when researching in a space where everyone is good at marketing. That's number one, and hopefully that clicks, right? Number two, if you're looking for the biggest, best, or most established SEO agency, what you're actually going to find is the most scaled company. This company is going to have senior staff with junior staff underneath them. They're going to have a CEO who's trying to grow the business as big as possible and a CFO trying to cut as many costs as possible. They're going to have employees who are upset with their managers because they're overworked and they have too many clients. And then they're going to have clients like you who are upset because you're not getting what you were promised. And I'm not making this up. I worked at an agency where it was normal for people to have 60 SEO clients at one single time. This company did not care whether the clients were happy. They did not care if the clients were getting good SEO results. And the reason is they were scaled enough to have an entire sales team in the background with these lofty sales targets signing on new clients every single day. It was a money-making machine, and when I left that company, I decided that if I ever had a business of my own, that clients would get treated right no matter what. Number three, you're not actually choosing a solution, you're getting matched with a real person, an account manager, your one-on-one consultant for the next 6 to 12 months. This person holds the entire fate of your SEO investment in their hands. It literally all comes down to the capability of that individual and their specific SEO experience, that determines the quality and the effectiveness of the strategy you receive. So if you buy SEO and then your strategy gets handed down to their most junior employee, well, then that would be unfair on you, right? Look, the thing that you guys need to understand about SEO is that it's become one of the most alluring professions in recent years. Everyone wants to be an SEO expert. At the time I made this video, there were 6.8 million learners on Udemy for SEO. That's more learners than they had for video editing courses at 3.8 million. That's more learners than they had for ChatGPT courses at 5.5 million. Even more learners than they had for leadership courses at 3.3 million. At this point, you're more likely to get paired up with someone who's learning SEO than someone who's been doing it their whole career. And do you want to know why 6.8 million people want to learn SEO? It's not because they're interested in the topic. It's not just for fun. It's because millions of people want to take advantage of people like you. And that's why SEO has such a bad reputation. That's why people like myself have suffered, because other people look at SEO as an easy way to make money and monetize people like you, instead of treating it like an actual career like we have, where we have actual business partners that stay with us for years because it genuinely helps them grow their bank account. It's also the reason why people have lost faith in SEO, because these people sell SEO without any credentials or real experience. They sell a bad product with good marketing in order to take advantage of people. Do you see what I mean? So now we have a situation where we have a handful of experts with decade-long careers who have dedicated themselves to SEO and becoming the best of the best. And then we have these people selling SEO as a get-rich-quick scheme, and the product that businesses are receiving is wildly inconsistent depending on who they choose. On top of that, the people who are just starting to sell and offer SEO for the first time haven't yet learned that there's an entire client relationship and logistical aspect to SEO that is also very important. They don't realize that SEO is a two-party job, not a one-party job. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that oftentimes the SEO person needs something from the business, and the business needs to respond or provide feedback or action something from them. And sadly, most of the time when SEO doesn't work out, it's not one party's fault, but both parties' fault. But I want to point out, if this has happened to you before, or if you've experienced this, it's not actually your fault, because it's completely up to the SEO person to make this clear at the beginning and let clients know that they're going to be required to a certain extent. And it's actually very simple. All we do is we partner together, I show you what I want to do and I explain why. I tell you what I need in order for it to be completed. You just review it, you make sure it's aligned with the business, and we work through the next steps depending on the task. Do I need a lot from you? Not overly, but do I need you to assist me from time to time to make sure our SEO work gets implemented all the way through? Yeah. What's great though is I've been doing this a long time, and I know exactly how to make this entire process as easy and pain-free as possible for my clients. Does that make sense? Now, why am I banging on and on about the relationship like this? I'm telling you because the relationship with your SEO provider is more important than most people might think. And choosing the wrong SEO provider is a really easy mistake to make. However, when you know what to look out for, it's very easy to avoid. All you need to do is think about the mindset of someone looking to get rich quick, let's call them person A, versus someone who's actually trying to help you grow your business, person B. All person A wants to do is get you through the door as quickly as possible, because they rely on volume. They will make the process of buying SEO very easy and require very little information from you to get started. Person B, on the other hand, will make buying SEO very hard. They will want to know everything about your business and to figure out if you're going to be a good long-term partner to work with before even talking about your SEO. Person B wants to work with the right business, not every business. In the same way, person A will make every promise and guarantee they can about the results they're going to be able to get you. They will say things like, we'll guarantee your rankings or your money back. Person B, on the other hand, will do the exact opposite. They will say there is no guarantees in SEO and warn you of the volatile nature of search engines and the constantly moving goalposts. So here's a simple test. Think about how complex your business actually is. Your products, your customers, your margins, your competitors, your sales process. There's a lot going on, right? Now think to yourself, could someone realistically understand all of that in a single phone call? If an SEO provider is ready to start after one small conversation like this, you might want to tread carefully. So just remember to look at the questions being asked and whether or not they're superficial or they indicate someone trying to develop a deeper understanding of your business. Ultimately, what you need and what I want is a long-term partner. You want to work with someone who can do this whole thing in a way that suits what you're wanting. So if someone's not willing to take the time with you, or they don't really seem that invested, then they're probably not the right fit for you. Do you see what I mean? Remember, this is a business partnership that a lot of the time ends up spanning across years, so you need to be ready to work with this person for quite a long time. Also, when you look at the cost of doing SEO, doing years of it to a lot of people sounds expensive, but normally that person has never experienced a successful SEO campaign. Businesses who have done really well out of SEO see the cost as insignificant when you compare it to the returns they're generating from the investment. And this is what I call the SEO Catch-22. The SEO Catch-22 is where you need results to justify the investment, but you need to invest to actually create the results. It creates a situation where businesses want proof that the SEO will work before they commit to spending the money. Basically, they're stuck on either side of the fence. A recent client of mine found themselves in this exact situation. The business owner felt like 12 months was too long to wait before seeing a return on investment. And they thought that if they just put the money straight into more ads on Google or Facebook, that they could just get the results straight away. And this does actually work for a lot of clients, to be fair. That's the reason why I offer Google Ads as a service alongside SEO, because they do complement each other quite well. And I want to make sure that I have a solution for everyone, regardless of their current situation. The main thing is that we're building a long-term asset for them, if that makes sense. But anyway, the reason this particular client ended up deciding to go ahead with SEO in the end was when I explained the idea of an advertising budget versus a marketing investment. All ads are temporary, right? Whether they're on the radio, a billboard, or social media. You spend the money, the ad gets published, and the results the results. That's that, it ends there. SEO is not the same. SEO is more like paying someone to implement a new and improved system in your business. With SEO, we're making long-term, valuable improvements and enhancements to your website, your content, your user experience. These changes, no matter how small, continue to drive value to the business for years and years, even after you've spent the money. So when you're thinking about SEO, the results aren't just measured by the success you get at the time of the campaign. It's measured in how much value is added across the lifespan of the business and the website. And that's why people refer to it as an SEO investment. Do you see how it works? Look guys, I know SEO is boring. You're not the only one who thinks it. But so are things like stocks or property until you see what they can do for you over time. Once you understand how and why they are so valuable, then they become much more interesting. So think about it like this. Imagine you have a pool in your backyard and every day you need to fill it up with water. Most people drag out a hose and they're standing there moving it around, coming back the next day and doing the exact same thing again. Now imagine that you invested early on and you had someone come out and build a system of pipes underground that pump water into your pool automatically every day. So now, instead of manually filling up the pool, the water is just flowing in constantly. While you're working on other stuff, while you're sleeping, you don't even think about the pool anymore. That is what SEO is doing for you. Do you get the idea? And that's SEO guys, and pretty much everything I've learned that I think would be helpful for you to know right now. I hope everything that I just went through has given you some good background on SEO, and maybe some of the points that I raised help people understand why it can feel so hit and miss sometimes. If you've had a negative experience with SEO previously, maybe some of what I've said has illuminated some of the reasons why this happened and where it likely went wrong, and possibly provided you with some reassurance and guidance on how to better approach an SEO investment in the future. So how do you get pipes for your swimming pool? What it essentially comes down to is that you need to work with someone who has a system that can guarantee the outcome so long as you do the process. Most SEO people approach SEO as a custom job every time, which technically is the right way to go about it because every business is different. But the mistake they make is they stop there and the whole thing becomes, I'll make a custom plan for you, and that's their offering. The problem with this is, and this is what I've learned after 10 years of doing this, is that there are no parameters around how they actually create their plans. There's no framework around it, and what happens is sometimes the plan is good and other times the plan is bad. So sometimes their clients get results and other times they don't. So what I did was I refined the entire thing from when I first talked to someone about SEO all the way through to when their rankings skyrocket 12 months down the line. I refined it all down into a 5-step process so that as long as we follow it, it will consistently land on the best SEO strategy. Remember, the SEO strategy isn't the whole picture either, it's just one small part of a bigger process. Think of it like the drive belt in a car. It's a flexible piece within a bigger, fixed-in-place system. And so long as you use the bigger system or process, you will arrive at the right SEO strategy for your particular website with your particular business. That's how I approach SEO. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to break down precisely what this process looks like and give you an understanding of each individual step so that you understand if we do this, we get that. Does that make sense? All right, let's hop into it. My SEO roadmap is broken down into 5 key phases: scope, learn, chart the course, implement, and adjust. Within each key phase, there is a series of sub-steps that need to be completed before moving on to the next phase. So let's start with the first phase, scope. In the scope phase, there are 3 steps: define, identify, and access. To define is to set the goal of the SEO strategy in relation to what the business is trying to achieve. Sometimes businesses want more leads and sales, other times businesses want more brand awareness. Sometimes businesses approach me when they're launching a new website and they want to carry across all the existing SEO authority onto the new website. There are many different reasons for someone to do SEO, and the first step is just getting aligned on the goal. Next, we have identify. Specifically, we're identifying the business's highest value products and services, because if the end goal is to make you more money, then it makes sense to prioritize the SEO efforts towards products and services that have already proven to generate you a great return in the business. This is a critical step that a lot of SEOs miss, and it's the exact kind of thing that separates someone with credentials from someone without them. Like, think about this. We're trying to make money. I can guarantee you right now that there is a product or service within your offer suite that is the leading product. This is what we call a hero offer. Every business has one, and when you sell it, people naturally always get cross-sold or upsold to other products. So when you optimize for it with SEO, it creates this domino effect in your organic revenue. A lot of people get this wrong and they try and optimize horizontally across all products and services with SEO, but that's not actually how a business works. Business revenue always works on an 80-20 stream, not a 20/5 or a 10/10 stream. So we optimize for your hero offer and rank that first, and then supplement with everything else. Do you see what I mean? People don't bother with the macro business aspect of what they're doing. They just do an SEO checklist and think it will work. The last step in this phase is access. This step is about ensuring that we're tracking all the right data points and that we have all the necessary tools set up correctly so that we can A, set a benchmark of performance for the entire campaign so we know where we started, and B, report back on our progress at the end of each month or at a time that you choose so that you can stay fully informed on whether or not the SEO strategy is actually making a real difference. A lot of businesses underestimate this aspect of digital marketing. Unlike traditional marketing like radio, outdoor, magazine, TV, where it's really hard to understand the impact of the marketing itself, it's the complete opposite in digital marketing channels like SEO. We can track exactly how much benefit your business is getting from the activity so that you can say with clarity and certainty that you are or you are not getting a return on your investment. If you happen to have an e-commerce business or a website where people can buy products off you directly online, then we can take that even further and we can calculate your exact return on investment on your SEO spend down to the dollar. Really powerful. The second key phase is learn. And in the learn phase, there are 4 steps: business, brand, industry, and locality. For business, I just need to know and understand the basics. What it is that you provide and how do you provide it? How big is the business? How long has it been around? Have you had other websites before this one? What kind of resources do you have, in particular in sales and marketing? What other digital channels do you invest in currently? Where have you seen success? Now, a lot of this stuff I will already know because we would have already gone through it together in one of our initial consultation calls, but it still forms a part of the SEO roadmap. Next is brand. When it comes to brand, some businesses have brand guidelines or brand documentation, so this step is just about getting me up to speed on any guidelines I might need to follow or adhere to when creating anything that might end up being customer facing. For example, your search engine results on Google, all of the content on your website. Then you have industry. This is where I'll ask you to explain to me your particular industry. What are the nuances and terminologies that I might need to know? What don't people normally understand? What do people normally get wrong when talking about your products and services and your business? Those are the things that I want to know, and I promise you'll only have to tell me once. And finally, you have locality. This is just establishing whether or not the SEO campaign is regional, national, or international in nature. Do you ship your products interstate or overseas? Do you provide a service that's online only or in person as well? All of these factors influence the SEO strategy and the types of the keywords that we go after. This ensures that we're sending the right people from search engines into the right areas of your website. And this completes the learning part of the process. Do you see how important this is? Now we can move on to charting the course, which is the third key phase. Chart the course has 4 steps: the start, the finish, the vehicle, and the course itself. The start is where your SEO is at right now. How much traffic do you get from search engines at the moment? How much is this compared to your competitors? Where does your business sit competitively on the SEO scale? Then we look at the finish. Where do we want to be? And what are our SEO goals? And then how far away from those are we? How much work is going to be involved in getting to that goal? And finally, we look at the vehicle, which is your website. What are we working with here? Is it a good quality website? Is it fast? Does it have a good user experience? How much do we need to improve things for it to be classed as a high performance vehicle or one that could win the race? Once we have these 3 pieces of the puzzle, the start, the finish, and the vehicle, we can then design a strategy or chart the course. So we analyze the journey we need to take and we ask, where are the shortcuts and the quick wins? What are going to be the longest stretches and the parts that require a bit more work? Designing an SEO strategy is all about getting a business enough wins along the way so that their SEO investment survives to see its ultimate fruition. So we just need to know how to pace a campaign correctly in a way that gets some quick wins at the beginning, a strengthening and maturing SEO in the middle, and then at the end, a sustained exponential increase, which is only possible after a long-term investment, right? The 4th key phase is implement. This phase has 5 steps. We always start with technical. Technical SEO is the foundation of all strategies because a site with a serious technical issue will never be allowed to rank on Google, no matter what. Think of SEO like building a house. Technical SEO is the foundation. If it's unstable, everything else suffers. So technical issues need to be ruled out before you work on any other aspect of the SEO strategy. This is normally explored in the form of a technical audit right at the start. Then you have on-page SEO, and this is like the structure or the layout of the house, or how it's been designed and built. Here, we optimize anything that's physically on your website, like your meta tags, the structure, the internal links, or how you get from room to room. Now for the content. The content is kind of like what's inside each room and its furnishings. It's the actual experience that people come for. We need to make sure that the content matches the description of the house or what it was advertised to be like, so people get the experience that they were expecting and they don't leave to go to a different house that's more in line with what they were searching for when they first decided to check it out. And finally, you have backlinks, which you might have heard of before. In this analogy, links are like the reputation and the desirability of the entire neighborhood. If you have high quality homes, businesses, schools, and other amenities all around you, the perceived value of your property increases with them. In SEO, links work in a similar way. When trusted, relevant websites reference your business and you have a relationship or association with those high-quality sites, Google sees this as a really positive signal and that your site is credible and also worth recommending. It's all pretty technical, so if any of that is still confusing, you're welcome to ask me about it on our next call if need be. The 4th step is local. If there's any local element to your business, in particular if you have a physical business location that customers can visit, then there's a whole additional range of SEO activities that we can complete to increase your rankings in a single or multiple local areas. And then finally, the 5th step is called trust. This is a newer aspect of SEO that might not have been included a few years ago, but these days search engines like Google are really only ranking people or entities who are highly trustworthy. There's a range of things we can do to increase the trustworthiness of your website, and this is particularly relevant if you're in an industry that can have an impact on someone's money, health, or life. Think insurance, financial advice, medical services, and the like. The 5th and final key phase is adjust. There are 4 steps in the adjust phase. The first step is to report. As your SEO consultant, I will deliver clear, concise, regular reporting so you can see exactly how the campaign is progressing, whether or not things are on track or need improvement. The second step is to integrate. This might be integrating with other teams in your business, whether that be your marketing or your sales teams. We could even integrate with any other agencies or third parties you might use for digital marketing to make sure that all of our strategies are aligned. The third step is to update. And by this I mean stay updated with your business developments, product launches, or any other significant plans that might influence the direction of the SEO. And then finally we have pivot. Once the SEO work begins, we start collecting data. And as the data starts maturing, we can clearly see what's working and what isn't. From there, we adjust the SEO strategy in real time to focus on the biggest opportunities. The process itself stays fixed, but the strategy adapts. And that pretty much completes the process. And once you've finished with the fifth and final phase, you can then rotate back to the third phase of charting the course to continue moving forward with a new set of opportunities. This cycle guarantees continuous SEO development and eventually will create a snowball effect where the original work that you did will be kicking in as you're implementing even more improvements and expanding the site even further. And that's where some of the craziest SEO gains can happen. So just to recap, the 5 phases are scope, learn, chart the course, implement, and adjust. We start by defining the goal, identifying the best products and services, setting up tracking. We then learn everything we can about the business, the brand, the industry, the areas it operates in. We assess the starting point and the finish line or the end goal. We look at the vehicle and how we're going to get there. We create a quality SEO strategy or chart a course to our destination. We then execute our plan across the 5 key pillars of search engine optimization. And finally, we react and we adjust in real time based on what the data says. Now, let me ask you this. Hypothetically, if we implemented every single step of what I just showed you, is there any way that your SEO wouldn't end up further ahead than when you are now? Think about it. You have an SEO person who's built their entire career around growing businesses' revenue via SEO. That person has only decided to take you on as a client because they believe they can get you a great return on investment. You as the client are now equipped with every piece of knowledge that you could possibly need to make sure things succeed. You know how SEO works, you understand why it's valuable, you get that you'll be required to an extent, you're aware that it's a long-term investment and that it's fundamentally different from buying ad space on social media or online. You know exactly where SEO campaigns fail and exactly how to avoid it. You also know how to identify an SEO provider who is genuinely interested in partnering with you and growing your business, and the red flags to look out for in order to avoid people who just want to exploit you. So is there any way that you cannot succeed if you do and follow everything that I've just said? And the answer is, it's impossible not to succeed. The only way you cannot succeed is if you don't do this. Does that make sense, guys? Now, with that being said, that's the entire process. If you've already scheduled a call with me, I look forward to talking to you, and I hope that this video has been informative and potentially inspired a new way of looking at search engine optimization. Hopefully it's given you a certain impression about me and my SEO experience and how I can help. And I really hope that this is the start of another partnership. If you haven't scheduled a call yet, I hope that after watching this presentation the whole way through, that you would be excited to have me look at your particular business and your particular website. So what I want you to do now is click the button down below, go through the steps, find a time to schedule in a call with me, and then we're gonna hop on a call, really feel each other out, and if I feel like we're a good fit and you feel like we're a good fit, then we're gonna go on to the final step, and hopefully I'll be doing your SEO for a very long time. So with that being said, feel free to continue browsing, have a look at the testimonials below, follow the steps, book in a time if you haven't already, and hopefully I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, guys.